Hi Kipsters, it's Mrs. Kosi here with your Read Aloud today, another day full of learning while you're at home. We miss you so much, but we're excited to bring you a new story today about a girl who is brave. I want you to think, have you ever been brave before? Brave. We're going to get into that word in this book a little bit more. If you'd like to go get your favorite stuffy or someone to read with you, you're welcome to pause the video and go get them. This is my favorite stuffy. His name's Bear, and he's going to help us answer some questions today. The book that we have today is called Brave Irene, and this story is about this character named Irene. And she has a big mission to do, and she is so brave in doing this mission. Today, while we're reading, our focus is going to be on identifying words that suggest feeling. We're going to identify words that suggest feeling. We're going to identify words that suggest good job. I want you to check in with yourself right now. How are you feeling today? Maybe you're feeling a little sleepy. Maybe you're feeling excited to read the story. Feelings come from all different things that happen in our life. And Irene is going to have some things happen that make her have a lot of feelings. We're going to pay attention while I'm reading today to what Irene does, what Irene does, and what she says. What she Hipsters, while we're reading today, we're going to look at Irene, who's our character, we're going to look to see what she's doing and what she's saying, and we're going to figure out, by looking at those things, how does she feel? How does she feel during different parts of the story? I'm going to go ahead and begin reading. Again, you can have your favorite stuffy with you, and I'm going to really try to show you the pictures today. Brave Irene. Let's see if I can move up a little bit. Mrs. Babin, the dressmaker, was tired and had a bad headache, but she still managed to sew the last stitches in the gown she was making. "It's the most beautiful dress in the whole world," said her daughter Irene. "The Duchess will love it." "It is nice," her mother admitted, "but, Dumpling, it is for tonight's ball, and I don't have the strength to bring it. I feel sick." Now remember, we're looking for what Irene is doing and what she's saying to figure out how the character feels. "Poor Mama," said Irene. "I can get it there." "No, Cupcake, I can't let you," said Mrs. Babin. "Such a huge package, and it's such a long way to the palace. Besides, it's starting to snow." "But I love the snow," Irene insisted. She coerced her mother into bed, covered her with 2 quilts, and added a blanket for her feet. Then she fixed her some tea with lemon and honey and put more wood on the stove. Wow, I'm looking at what Irene's doing, and I'm thinking about how she's feeling. How's she feeling about her mom being sick? And go ahead and read on this page. "With great care, Irene took the splendid gown down for the dummy and packed it in a big box with plenty of tissue paper. 'Dress warmly, Pudding,' her mother called in a weak voice, 'and don't forget to button up. It's cold out there and windy.' Irene put on her fleece lined boots, her red hat and her muffler, her heavy coat and her mittens. She kissed her mother's hot forehead 6 times, then once again made sure she was tucked in snugly and slipped out with the big box, shutting the door firmly behind her." Now I'm thinking about what this character is doing. What is Irene doing for her mother? What is Irene doing for her mother? I want you to think. What is she doing for her mother? Now that we're thinking about what she's doing, how does that make her feel? How does Irene feel right now as she's caring for her mother? Let's keep reading. "It really was cold outside, very cold. The wind whirled the falling snowflakes about, this way, that way, and into Irene's squinting face. She set out up the hill path to Farmer Bennett's sheep pasture. By the time she got there, I didn't realize it was looking like that for you guys. By the time she got there, the snow was up to her ankles and the wind was worse. It hurried her along and made her stumble. Irene resented this. The box was problem enough. Easy does it, she cautioned the wind, leaning back and hard against it. By the middle of the pasture, the flakes were falling thicker. Now the wind drove Irene along so rudely she had to hop, skip, and go haltering over the knobby ground. Cold snow sifted into her boots and chilled her feet. She pushed her lip and hurried on. This was an important errand. When she reached Apple Road, the wind decided to put on a show. It ripped branches from the trees and flung them about, swept up and scattered the fallen snow, got in front of Irene to keep her from moving ahead. Irene turned around and pressed on backwards. Wow, I noticed that Irene's doing a lot here where she's pushing against on the wind, but she's not really saying much right now. I wonder how she's feeling. I can guess, especially by looking at the picture. Ooh, she is feeling something. Go home, the wind scrawled. Irene, go home. I will not do such a thing, she snapped. No such a thing, you wicked wind. Go home, the wind yodeled. Go home. It shrieked gross. For a short second, Irene wondered if she shouldn't heed the wind's warning. Oh no, the gown had to get to the Duchess. Hipsters, I'm going to pause right there. Irene is telling something back to the wind when the wind's telling her to go home. How is Irene, first answer, what is Irene yelling to the wind? What is she saying? What did she say? What did Irene say? Let's see if I can, Irene said something here. Now think, how is Irene starting to feel about the wind? If she's yelling to the wind, no such thing, you wicked wind. If she yells that to the wind, how do you think that Irene is feeling right now? How do you think that Irene is feeling? Irene's feeling, you can tell your favorite stuffy. Irene's feeling, let's keep reading. The wind wrestled with her for the package, walloped it, twisted it, shook it, and snatched at it. But Irene wouldn't yield. This is my mother's work, she screamed. Then, oh, whoa! The box was wrenched from her mittened grasp and sent bumbling along the snow. Irene went after it. Now I see the words, Irene went after it. That's something that she's doing, something that she's... How is she feeling that the wind took the package from her? She's going after it. How is she feeling there? Say, turn that page. I kept forgetting to say that this time. She pounced and took hold, but the ill-tempered wind ripped the box open. The ball gown flounced out and went waltzing through the powdered air with tissue paper attendants. Irene clung to the empty box and watched the beautiful gown disappear. How could anything so terribly wrong be allowed to happen? Tears froze on her lashes. Her dear mother's hard work, all those days measuring, cutting, pinning, stitching, for this and the poor Duchess. Irene decided she would have to trudge on just with the box and explain everything in person. Hipsters, thinking about what Irene's doing and what she's saying. Excuse me. Sorry. Thinking about what Irene's doing and what she's saying, how does Irene feel right now? Irene feels blank. Now I want you to find your evidence in the text. Irene feels blank because what? What does she do or what does she say? Find it in the text. Irene feels... Now, Kipsters, that is actually where we're going to stop today. I'm going to put my bookmark in this page right here so that we remember that this is where we need to start tomorrow. Your bookmark, you should have a bookmark from your teacher. That's a perfect way to stop where you're reading. Now, before we close out today, I want you guys to think about, right now in the story, Irene is feeling something. And I don't want us to just say sad. We need to think of juicy words about how Irene feels. And we need to think about what she's doing and what she's saying to make us know how she feels. I want you to write down a sentence, something that says, Irene feels because, okay? So I'm going to say it again. I want you to write down a sentence that says, Irene feels because, okay? I'd also like you to draw a picture of what you think is going to happen next. What do you think is going to happen to poor Irene? Is she going to end up going all the way to the Duchess with an empty box? What do you think is going to happen? Thank you so much for reading with me today. You guys did a wonderful job. I love and miss you all, and I hope that you send some pictures to your teachers and show us that you're growing your brains every day by watching these videos. Have a wonderful day, Kipsters.